Hey guys, Zay here, and today guys we're going over Intermarket Mastery. So today we caught a short on NQ, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how I caught the short and the confirmations I use, the bias, direction, how I caught it, and what I was looking at, right? So I might start recording my sections. I do record it, but I don't really have it in a format I can make into a video. So I'm going to be showing you pretty much, and I was seeing a lot of the things in the Discord server. If you guys do want to join, it will be in the description, and I will show you the execution right here on screen. So we took a short right here on NQ, and we took it all the way down to the low of day. Now, if I show you the confirmation on the bookmap, we seen aggressive buying at the top, a passive seller got filled, and if you see after we have all that buying got aggressively sold into, that kind of confirms that sellers got into control. You see how we failed to fill the offer here, but we were filling the bid. That gave me confirmation to look for shorts, right? So I started shorting up here in this basing area, and I took a short with my stop loss above the 799s, because you can clearly see that it was aggressive passive seller that got filled and absorbed that buyer, because that's a very aggressive buyer. You can see on the delta around 10.27, and I used that aggressive buyer that stepped into the market as confirmation for my short, and I was using the video also as a catalyst to pretty much hold the range. And I also look at ES order flow. So you see how ES was ranging. Usually when ES is ranging like this, you can kind of see a balanced breakout. So when we break out the balance area low, we can see huge direction bias. So you see that aggressive buyer at the 700s at a psychological level. Once we break that level, you can see a lot of selling, right? So now I traded this on NQ. I usually trade ES, but the reason I took it on NQ because it was moving a little bit faster, and I wanted to catch that move, right? And usually I kind of really stay on ES. I really do regret switching to NQ, because NQ had a lot of pullbacks, right? So I should have stayed on my pair, but either way, you still had a very good trading session. So first thing first, right? If I go to the intermarket pairs, we have the VIX, and we have the asset out trading. We have SVIX and XOG. Now, me personally right now, I've been really liking the XVIX and XOG, right? And also the VIX, right? But right now, the XVIX been working out perfect for me. And the reason I've been liking the XVIX, it's cleaner to read, it's easier for me personally. So, but I still use all these assets, and I'm gonna show you how I use it. Now, if we go to the pre-market playbook, I had all these levels already marked out before the session even started. And I did these around 11:49, right? I had where I want to go long and where I want to go short. And clearly, this is with the area I went short in, this area of extreme, right? And I have my level for the XVIX. I'm looking short in this level. And I have my level for XOG. XOG actually broke above the resistance. It gapped up in the morning time. So I had to play with that. But I actually was able to create a play on XOG as well. You see how the levels all played out pretty well. Now, first thing first, I'm going to go over one by one. Right, so we have the VIX going higher. Rule of thumb, if the VIX is going higher, we're looking to sell. The VIX is inversely correlated with NQ and ES. So when the VIX goes higher, we're looking to sell. When the VIX goes lower, we're looking to buy. Now, if you notice, the VIX is going higher here, but we're going higher on NQ. So the market's not 100% correlated, right? And a lot of people, when they're trading the VIX, say, oh, we got the VIX going higher, we should sell off. That's why I use the XVIX and use the XOG. That's why I use other assets to pretty much make up for the errors in a way. Now, you see how we got the XVIX going higher here? We're going higher, and we hit my area of resistance. Once we hit my area of resistance, I'm looking to sell, right? I'm looking to sell. That's my key area, right? And we're going higher on the VIX, and we started going lower on the XVIX. Now, the XVIX is positively correlated with ES and NQ. So when the XVIX goes slower, we go lower on NQ and on ES. Same thing with XOG. If you haven't watched my videos, guys, you need to go watch the first video. So this gave me confirmation for shorts. Once we went lower here, once we have a perfect retest, EMA started crossing. We hit the top of the VWAP bands and went lower. They gave me confirmation for shorts. We going higher on the VIX, gave me confirmation for shorts. And if you look at XOG, we created this basing high. We had a triple top sell, top sell, top sell. So what I did here, I seen we started selling off on the XVIX, seen a sell off on the XOG, and look at NQ. NQ, we had all that absorption. Remember what I showed you on the book map? We had a lot of absorption here, and I entered here. My stop loss above the wick. All right. Now, what else do we have here? We have the previous day value area high. These are very key areas for potential rejections, right? If I even show you, look at this rejection of the previous value or low. Perfection. This is literally perfection. This is pretty much volume profile levels, right? And that's how I make my levels with volume profile, options order flow, and rejections. I'm gonna make a video how I make my levels, just to give you guys an understanding how I get these levels, how they pretty much depart from, right? So here we're in an area of supply, we in the area of supply here, and we're in the area of supply here, and we're in the area of demand. Now this is the area I had marked off on the VIX. We did a liquidity sweep, we swept that low and went higher. They gave me confirmation for shorts, right? If the VIX is going higher, that's more fear in the market. When there's more fear, there's a higher chance we're going to sell off. And this is early in the market. There's a lot of volatility. You need volatility for moves. So next thing we have next. I was looking at ES. This is the same Q level I had on ES when in pre-market, right? This is my pre-market level. We sold off during the pre-market, hit the previous day point of control, went above VWAP, came here, huge absorption here, came back, sold off below the previous day very high, and we're going for the previous day point of control, right? So I trade level to level. I trade one level to the next level, one level to the next level. That's how I trade, level to level. That's how I have my levels. Therefore, I can do a break and retest. If we would have broke up, I would have looked for a break and retest higher. If we would have broke below here, I would look for a break and retest lower. But here, we stayed below the range. The wicks did the damage. The body still the story. Went lower, higher, retest, went lower. Now, if you see, we was riding the VWAP here. And once we broke VWAP, we sold off. Same thing here. We held VWAP. That's why I love having the VWAP inside my system, right? If we're holding VWAP and we break below VWAP, you can see a lot of liquidity. And now, the reason I was holding the trade, I held it below low of day. So low of day was at 934. This is what the low of day from the cash open. We broke a low of day, went higher. This is failed auction here, went lower, and we filled all these imbalances. Then I had my area of supply and went higher. Demand. Now, if I show you on NQ, now NQ had a lot of pullbacks, and the reason NQ had a lot of pullbacks because it wasn't ready, and I'm gonna tell you why it wasn't ready. Now, if I show you NVIDIA is going higher. Now, if I'm trading NQ and I have NVIDIA and AMD, these are very, very good tech stocks. NQ is majority a tech-based stock. So you need to have stocks that's tech-based, right? And I'm using NVIDIA even to trade ES, right? Because NVIDIA is a very, very big cap stock. So once you see NVIDIA start selling off, see how we had that move all the way lower? Look, we had AMD sell off, and NVIDIA and AMD started selling off at the same exact time. So my problem with this trade is I didn't have the best confirmation on the stocks, because here we was going higher, making it very, very hard for NQ to sell off, making it very lackluster. So usually if NVIDIA and AMD is selling off while I'm in the trade, it's a very, very good trade for confirmation. So only thing that lacked confirmation was the stocks. Now I'm gonna show you a very good trick here. Now we have SPY and we have QQQ. QQQ is NQ and SPY is ES. All right. Now, if I hover my mouse, you see how we're riding the VWAP here? But look where we at on ES. We're nowhere near VWAP. We all the way up here. So this would have told me to pretty much wait for the breakout. Once we broke out below VWAP, we broke below VWAP on ES, we broke below VWAP on NQ, and we broke below VWAP on QQQ. That would have gave me confirmation to hold my shorts. And pretty much what you're doing here, you can use the same asset, but you can pretty much cheat the system using the VWAP. Because if we're above the VWAP on one pair and we break the VWAP on the second pair, that would give me confirmation to look for shorts, right? You're pretty much using the same context here, right? And you see when we hit the top VWAP band here, we sold off. We hit the top VWAP band and sold off. Same thing here. We went below the VWAP band, went up. Went below the VWAP band, went up. So that's how you can always use the VWAP bands to pretty much use it to your confirmations, right? Same thing on AMD. We hit the VWAP bands, sold off. In longs, we hit the VWAP bands and went up. That's why I love using VWAP. VWAP is a very, very good tool to pretty much use the market as a catalyst, right? You can pretty much use all these assets to frame a context. Now, I'm going to give you an overview, right? If you haven't understand what I'm telling you, we had ES in the area of supply, so I'm looking to sell. NQ in the area of supply, I'm looking to sell. Now, what do we have here? We have the VIX going up. If the VIX goes up, I'm looking to sell. If we ain't selling off on the XVIX, I'm looking to sell. If we going lower on the XLG, I'm looking to sell. If all of this happens at the exact same time, all I need to do is look for an entry on the bookmap, and look for entry on the order flow, and I'm in. I use all my bias and my directions are in these trades, right? Now, let's say the reason I took this trade at this exact time, I need to start seeing everything happen at the exact same time. All my trades need to be at the exact same levels. I'm looking to sell, all my levels have to be lined up at the exact time. So let's say NQ wasn't at this area of supply, I wouldn't sell, right? They all have to be at the exact same level, right? So, for example, here, NQ was at my area of buy demand, but look where ES was at. ES wasn't in my area of demand. Once ES went in my area of demand, we went higher on both pairs. We went higher on the video. We went higher on NQ. We went higher on AMD. We went higher on QQQ. We went higher on SPY. Also here, I'll show you right here. Look here, we hit my area of key interest on the XVIX. We went higher on the XVIX. We went higher on XLG. This actually would have been a perfect long. The reason this would have been a perfect long, because look here. If the VIX is going lower, we're looking along. This is perfect confirmation. I'm showing you guys live markets. People say, how would you would have caught this long? This is exactly how you would have caught this long. Here, the XVIX start going higher. The XLG started going higher. We hit my area of key resistance, which turned into support, went higher. We were in my area of key interest, my long key interest here on the video. Not in the video, I mean NQ, went higher. Look at the VIX. The VIX started shorting off. When the VIX at an area of extreme, we start shorting off, you're looking to go long. Here, you could have got a pullback for longs in this area of low volume. Then you could have looked to short right here. I mean, go long here, all the way to the previous day point of control, or all the way down to the pivot point, or you could have even got out at high of day. These are very, very, very easy entries, guys. Very easy entries for confirming bias, direction. You don't even need order flow, right? It doesn't need order flow. You don't need it, right? But here, using order flow, you can have you confirm your trades. This is really have me confirm bias and direction. And I hope you guys was able to learn something today. And remember, if you're ever confused about anything, please put in the comments. This is a very, very key video, even for me, because I gave you guys the most sauce I ever gave out in one video. Literally, in 12, 13 minutes, I gave you guys a lot of sauce and just giving direction and bias. I'm telling you right now, this is going to give you a lot of bias and it will give you a lot of direction. I'm so sorry for the barking, but pretty much this is going to help you a lot. Now, if you guys have any other questions, please let me know. And just let me know if you like this format of these videos or you like the PowerPoint, just let me know. And you guys take care. And if you do want to join the Discord, it will be in the description. And peace out.